One of the most common things you'll need to do with collections is to iterate through each item in the collection. Iterating through a collection is a little like flicking through the pages in a book. If you knew the number of items in a collection, you could directly address them using collection 0, collection 1, etc. But most of the time, you won't know in advance how many items your collection has. In this lesson, you will use a foreach loop to iterate through each item in a collection. To begin, open the My Project sample file from your Sample Files folder. And open calculatorfunctions.cs. Next, we're going to add a method to total all of the numbers in a list of int variables. You should be quite familiar with creating methods by now. Use the following code. Public static int total numbers list int list to total. This method accepts a list int collection as an argument and returns an int value. When this method is complete, it will add up the values of each item in the list to total collection and then return the total. This method is static, so you won't need to create an instance of the calculator functions class to call the method. To return the total as an int value, you'll need to create an int variable to return. Create one in the total numbers method using the following code. Int total equals 0. The total variable is assigned a value of 0. You'll add the values of each element in the list to total collection to the total variable as you iterate through them. Next, we're going to iterate through each item in list to total using foreach. Add the following code to the total numbers method. Foreach, begin brackets, int number to total, in list to total, end brackets, begin curly brackets, end curly brackets. The number to total variable is called the iteration variable. The code will loop through all of the items in the list to total collection, and for each iteration, the value of the current item will appear in the number to total variable. Next, we'll add the code to sum the total into the total variable. Add the following code inside the curly brackets following the foreach statement. Total equals total plus number to total. As the foreach statement iterates through each item in the list to total collection, their values will be added to the total variable. To complete the method, we'll need to add code to return the total value. At the end of the method, add the code return total. Note that if you use a var iteration variable in a foreach statement, it will automatically be assigned the same variable type as the items in the collection. If, in this example, you'd used foreach var number to total, the code would have worked in exactly the same way. However, it is best practice to avoid using var variables, as it makes the code harder to understand. This is a common bad programming practice. I've included this information because you may see this practice in other people's code. You learned about the var variable type in Lesson 5.13. Next, we're going to try out the method on the calculator.aspx page. Open the code behind file of calculator.aspx and remove all code from the button Calculate to click event handler. If you can't find the button Calculate to click event handler, you should download the incremental sample files and use the correct sample file for this lesson. Now we'll add some code to the method to create a list of int variables containing some values. List int list to total equals new list int, begin curly brackets, 12, 17, 135, end curly brackets. This list collection contains the integer values 12, 17, and 135. Therefore, its total should come to 164. Next, we'll add code to call the method from the calculator functions class and output the result. Int total equals calculator functions dot total numbers list to total. Response dot write total. Now view calculator.aspx in your browser and click the second button, which simply says Button. The number 164 is displayed, showing that your method totaled the numbers correctly. You've now completed Lesson 8.3. Iterate through a collection using foreach.